In this video, we are going to talk about the fact about Enzo Ferrari. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. 22. He fought in World War I. One of the most brilliant minds in the history of the automobile industry, Enzo Anselmo Ferrari created some of the greatest automobiles ever made. One might assume he was born on the track given his prowess in motor racing and manufacturing, but he was not. The man served in the Italian Army's 3rd Mountain Artillery Regiment during World War I. The 3rd Mountain are noted for their efforts fighting in the battleground with the renowned Alpini Corps, and are well known for their mountain warfare abilities. He did make it through the war, but his father and brother did not. Both passed away during the time of a terrible flu outbreak in Italy, but not from combat. In addition, Enzo himself became ill during the 1918 flu epidemic and nearly died. Fortunately, he later received his army discharge and was sent home to recover. 21. He lost his son Dino at the age of 24. Alfredino Ferrari, better known as Dino, was Ferrari's son who was destined to succeed his father Enzo, but he did not survive long enough. Dino had proposed creating a 1.5-liter DOC V6 engine for F2 vehicles when he was still alive. Enzo used the V6 engine he recommended and later dedicated the Dino series of automobiles to his son. One of the best vehicles Ferrari has ever produced is the Dino. Dino passed away at the age of 24 from muscular dystrophy. Enzo was grieved by his son's passing and made as many trips as he could to his burial. Piero, another son of Enzo's, would grow up to lead Ferrari as vice president. As of June 2021, Piero has a net worth of $4.7 billion. 20. His father was not a racer, but he inspired Enzo into building cars. Enzo Ferrari didn't come from a racing-related family. The fact that his father, Alfredo Ferrari Sr., came from a line of grocery store owners didn't satisfy Alfredo. He had a strong interest for metalworking, and when Enzo was still a child, he established a metal workshop. Enzo would frequently observe his father working in the workshop since he was fascinated by the metalwork he did. He acquired useful skills in the workshop, which he would later apply on the road. 19. He lost his father to the 1916 flu. Alfredo Ferrari Sr. and Alfredo Jr., Enzo's older brother and father, perished in Italy in 1916 during a terrible flu pandemic. When Enzo got sick during the 1918 flu pandemic, the flu would once again infect the Ferrari family. He became so ill that he just about made it. He would finally receive his army discharge and return home to complete his treatment. Ferrari was fortunate to recover, because the 1918 flu ultimately claimed the lives of more than 500 million people worldwide. 18. He suffered from claustrophobia. Despite his popularity, Enzo Ferrari seemed to lead a fairly private existence. He hardly ever gave interviews and avoided leaving his houses in Maranello and Modena. Only in extraordinary cases, like as for the Monza Grand Prix and a trip to Paris in 1982 to resolve a dispute between FISA and FOCA, did Enzo leave the house. In addition, he never took a flight, visited Rome, or entered a lift. Due to his claustrophobia, Enzo avoided confined spaces like lifts and aeroplanes. 17. The last car he personally approved was the F40. A mid-engine, rear-wheel drive sports automobile called the Ferrari F40 was introduced in 1987. It was made to commemorate Ferrari's 40th anniversary, and was the 288 GTO's replacement. But perhaps most significantly, it was the final Ferrari vehicle that Enzo Ferrari personally approved before his passing in August 1988. Although it was born for the track, it was born for the road and somehow served as the foundation for some of the most thrilling cars in GT and endurance racing. The F40 was the most expensive Ferrari at the time, and had only 400 units made, with a selling price of almost $400,000. 16. he started racing at the age 20. Enzo Ferrari began competing in motorsports in his late 20s, but he had been daydreaming about it since he was 10. This motivation was sparked by the fact that he promised his father that he would become a racing driver after seeing his first race in 1908 at the Circuito di Bologna. He became a test driver for Costruzioni Meccaniche Nazionali after losing his father and sibling. Enzo was given the opportunity to race their 15-horsepower open-wheeled racer after working at their workshop, where he converted trucks into little automobiles. A few years later, he quit CMN and began working as a technician and racer for Alfa Romeo, where he founded the storied racing organization Scuderia Ferrari. 15. Aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines. Aerodynamics are for those who can't make engines, as Enzo famously remarked. The statement was made in 1960 in response to Paul Freire's question on why his Ferrari 250 TR at the Le Mans had a constrained top speed. Ferrari was a person who would answer to any challenge. He was trying to say that if the power plant was sound, aerodynamics wasn't necessary. His viewpoint appears to have evolved over time, as the Ferrari F40 soon became one of the era's most aerodynamic vehicles. 14. He deeply mourned the death of Gilles Villeneuve. One of the finest racing car drivers of all time was Gilles Villeneuve. He participated in the 1967 Grand Prix and raced in Grand Prix competition for Ferrari for the next 6 years. However, a terrible crash in May 1982 abruptly put an end to his illustrious career. He passed away from wounds he received in a 139 mph incident at the 1982 Belgian Grand Prix. Enzo Ferrari appeared to be extremely distressed by this incident. He was so saddened by Gilles Villeneuve's passing that he kept pictures of Gilles in each of his residences and workplaces. 13. The Ferrari emblem has a glorious history. The iconic Ferrari logo, the black prancing horse on a yellow background, has a fascinating history. During World War I, the prancing horse was the personal emblem of Italy's most famous fight pilot, Francesco Baracca. Baracca had painted it on his plane during World War I. In 1918, Baracca was killed, but his legacy lived on for years. A few years after his death, Ferrari met Baracca's mother, who told him to put the horse logo on his cars for good luck. He gracefully accepted the idea, changing the white background to bright yellow to represent his hometown, Modena. 12. Enzo Ferrari resided near his home. Enzo Ferrari was born in Modena in 1898 and is best known for founding the Scuderia Ferrari Grand Prix racing team and the automobile manufacturer Ferrari SPA. His heart and company stayed in Modena and the neighboring Maranello, as he traveled thousands of miles around the globe with his racing crew. The current headquarters of Ferrari are located in Maranello, which is also home to the amazing Museo Ferrari, a museum devoted to the brand. 11. A nod to an Italian flying ace from World War I is made by the prancing horse logo. After winning a race in 1923, Enzo Ferrari was introduced to the Count and Countess Baracca. The two were the parents of Francesco Baracca, a renowned World War I flying ace who had been killed in action in 1918. According to mythology, Baracca's parents asked Ferrari to use their son's prancing horse as the team's badge because they believed it would bring him luck. Ferrari's racing team, Alfa Romeo, gave him permission to use the insignia on his car for the 1932 Spa 24 hours 9 years later. The color yellow serves as a tribute to his hometown. 10. The first Ferrari's launch was delayed by World War II. Ferrari started his racing career in 1919 as a driver for C.M.N. Costruzioni Meccaniche Nazionali, but he soon switched to Alfa Romeo and was given the position of head of the Alfa Corse racing section. He agreed to refrain from using the name Ferrari for 4 years, then set out on his own and started producing race cars in 1939. Enzo Ferrari built two 815 Auto Avio Costruzioni automobiles in 1940, but these weren't yet genuine Ferraris. Then came World War II, when Allied forces bombed Ferrari's Maranello facility twice, first in 1944 and once in 1945. The V12 125S, the first official Ferrari, made its debut in March 1947, 2 years after these disappointments. 9. Just 2 of the original model were ever produced. Only 2 of the 1500 cubic centimeter, 12-cylinder 125S, Ferrari's first official model, were produced, and even then, the company didn't begin mass-producing automobiles. Franco Cortese, driving the vehicle, had its competitive debut at the Piacenza circuit on May 11, 1947. After Cortese was forced to leave the race while in the lead due to fuel pump problems, Enzo Ferrari would later refer to that race as a promising failure. It didn't take long for the 125S to become legendary after that problem was resolved. One of 6 victories Ferrari racked up over a 13-race span was the Rome Grand Prix, which it won on May 25 at the city's term Di Caracalla circuit. The 2 automobiles, sadly, were not preserved, which is bad news for auto historians. Instead, Ferrari disassembled both vehicles and repurposed their components to create the next iterations of its products. 8. The company didn't select the original Ferrari red color. Ferraris are available in a variety of colors now, from vivid yellow, giallo modena, to delicate metallic gray, grigio alloy, but their initial color was red, rosso scuderia. However, Enzo Ferrari did not make that choice. In the early days of auto racing, the International Automobile Federation, FIA, designated the color red to every race car competing in the Italian Grand Prix. Furthermore, a resounding majority of buyers still opt for red Ferraris, which account for 45% of all sales. 7. A major stake in the company is owned by Fiat. Enzo Ferrari sold the Fiat Group 50% of his business in 1969, providing Ferrari SPA with a much-needed liquidity infusion. Enzo Ferrari and his son Piero Ferrari sold even more of the business around the time of Enzo Ferrari's death in 1988, leaving them with only a 10% ownership stake. The parent firm, now known as Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, FCA, intends to spin off the Ferrari segment by early 2016, according to a recent filing with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. 6. Everything in your Ferrari can be customized. With Ferrari's tailor-made program, customers can customize every part of their vehicle. At the Maranello factory, customers can customize everything from the livery colors to the interior trims, finishes, and accessories. There are 3 collections: Scuderia, choices with a racing theme, Classica, updating the famous Ferrari GT, and Inedita, creative and unconventional pairings. Once a customer makes these decisions, they can anticipate a 2-year wait for their vehicle. Golfer Ian Poulter and other well-known figures have built their own custom-designed Ferraris. 5. More than 5,000 sanctioned races have been won by Ferrari drivers. Those initial victories in 1947 were a fairly accurate portent of future events. Over the years, Ferrari, according to the company, has won more than 5,000 trophies. The titles include 15 F1 Drivers' World Championships, 16 F1 Constructors' World Championships, 14 Sports Car Manufacturers' World Championships, 9 Le Mans 24 Hours victories, 8 Mille Miglia victories, 7 Targa Florio victories, and 216 F1 Grand Prix victories, according to the organization. 4. Ferrari does a lot of licensing and retailing. The Ferrari design team of today develops products other than cars. Every year, Ferrari generates almost $1.5 billion in worldwide retail sales at its 30 locations. The shops sell scale versions of the cars as well as scale replicas of watches, sunglasses, shoes, and clothes with the Ferrari insignia. However, be aware that prices are not low. Even a 1:8 scale model of the Ferrari F14T will cost you a whopping $5,400. 3. An annual production limitation plan failed to last. Ferrari concluded in 2013 that producing too many automobiles was not in the best interests of the business. Just 7,000 cars would be produced each year, which would prevent any product dilution. The cap was created to preserve the brand, according to long-standing firm chairman Luca di Cordero Montezemolo, who told reporters, "The exclusivity of Ferrari is fundamental for the value of our products, despite price tags starting at $200,000 and going well above $400,000. We chose to produce fewer cars, because doing differently would put too many on the market." However, Montezemolo resigned as chairman in 2040. There was Sergio Marchionne. Moreover, he has already increased production to 7,200 units, with the goal of eventually reaching 10,000 units annually. 2. Abu Dhabi has a Ferrari theme park that includes an F1 roller coaster. Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, the company's first theme park, debuted in 2010. The Formula Rossa roller coaster, which is based on F1 and is the fastest roller coaster in the world at over 150 miles per hour, is one of 4 thrill rides at this allegedly largest indoor theme park in the world. There are also a ton of other family-friendly activities and kid-only rides. Even licensed drivers over the age of 21 can sign up for the driving experience, which gives them the chance to operate a Ferrari California on the roads of Yas Island, the location of Ferrari World. In addition to the AED 350, $95 park entry price, one ride alone costs AED 600, about $165. In May 2015, Ferrari World revealed plans to build a brand new roller coaster dubbed Flying Aces in memory of World War I flying ace Francesco Baracca, whose trademark emblem served as an inspiration. It will be the world's steepest steel roller coaster. Enzo's son died at a very young age due to muscular dystrophy. Enzo Ferrari's lone child, Alfredino, also known as Dino, was born in 1932. Dino was prepared to be Enzo's real heir, but he passed away too soon. At the age of 24, Dino passed away from muscular dystrophy in 1956. Enzo was devastated by the loss of his son and made every effort to pay a frequent visit to his burial. For F2 vehicles, Dino has earlier suggested building a 1.5-liter Dove V6 engine. After his son passed away, Enzo dedicated the Dino line of street and race cars in his honor, using the V6 engine he suggested. With his mistress Lina Lardi, Enzo had another illegitimate child in 1945 named Piero. Later, Piero rose to the position of vice president at Ferrari. Piero's estimated net worth was $1.3 billion in 2015. That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching, and see you next time.